each sign, there's 12 signs, there's 12 houses. Each house has its corresponding sign, and each sign has its corresponding house. So the signs would be like an energetic filter. At least that's how I think of it. They're an archetype which then blends its energy with the sun, the moon, and the planet that happens to be in there, to where the house would be an area of life. That's how it's traditionally taught. I personally have found that they can go either way. So a sign could show up as an area of life, and a house could show up like the energetic filter of the sign which it corresponds to.
Okay, so let's move on to Virgo, which is August 23rd to September 22nd. And it's a mutable earth sign ruled by Mercury. Virgo represents order and discipline. I've heard it also described as being practical and careful. It's very much, I think, the main thing that people think of with Virgos is being very detail oriented and striving for perfection. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that.
The Virgo it's like the craftsman, so they have that attention to detail. I would say that describes it well.
Okay, and the sixth house is I think it's typically described as the house of work, but it's also, I've heard it described associated with health. It's what brings us kind of strength and vitality. It's associated with employment, as well as services performed for others. I think the sixth house is another house that has kind of conflicting energies, perhaps.
Yeah. So I sixth house is something I specialize in. My sun, moon, total 5 planets in the sixth house. I would say the sixth house is about work, but as it regards to like your day-to-day work. So it's not necessarily work that's exclusive to your career as it is work anywhere. So it could be work around the home. It could be work that involves service to others. So maybe if you're people like with a lot of sixth house energy are inclined to help others in one way or another, so that then they find themselves doing work for other people. My belief is that health is a prominent topic in the sixth house because how we live our life day to day very much has a huge impact on our state of health. And so health, like when there's a transit going through the sixth house and a person has planets there, or perhaps something in the 12th house that's getting an opposition from a transiting sixth house planet, then a health issue may show up, because if you're living kind of like a standard American life where you're eating junk food, you're not exercising, you're not sleeping enough, then a health issue may show up as a result of that. So I would say, the other side would be people who have a lot of prominent sixth house, which I would say describes me are people who are very focused on health. So people who are more inclined to exercise and watch what they eat and to just think about how they're living their life and how it's affecting their health. But I think the other thing to say about the sixth house that's important is daily routines.
Okay.
So like my like daily routines are very important to me. I like to wake up and I have what I like clean the kitchen, I have my coffee, and then I like to go meditate. And so like that's something that will also be described by planets in the sixth house.
And that describes the energy of Virgo as well. Just being
Very
detail oriented and that kind of more regimented and trying to strive.
I think Virgos are kind of seen as people who are like overly tidy, or kind of nitpicky about whatever the details may be. And there's this focus on like the day-to-day, moment-to-moment living and how that's impacting whatever it is that's important to that individual.